Graduate Writing Center.
Bienvenidos al Graduate Writing Center.
欢迎到 Graduate Writing Center.
أهلا وسهلا فيكم بالGraduate Writing Center.
Welcome to the Graduate Writing Center.
Who knows what op-ed actually means? I'll give you three ideas here. Opposite editorial, opinion editorial, or opium education. Does anyone want to take a guess? Opposite editorial?
Opinion.
Let's have a show of hands. Opposite editorial. Opinion editorial. Okay, Sonia wins it. It actually was created in 1921. This guy, Herbert Swope from the New York Evening World, started to notice that opinion was creeping into the news pages, and that's a bad thing, and he recognized that, but he just thought it was so interesting. So I'll read this. I would notice from time to time that the opinion stories which had crept in spite of our hard and fast principle of having little or no opinion in our news columns, had been dominantly interesting. Nothing is more interesting than opinion when opinion is interesting. So I devised a method of cleaning off the page opposite the editorial, which became the most important in America, and thereupon I decided to print opinions, ignoring facts. We have op-ed contributors, and these are people like you all and experts on particular topics. People with special interests are often included in this group. Op-eds can be written by somebody who stands to make money off of their opinion or who is involved in an activist group. The opinion page is just about the only place in a paper where a person with a vested interest has a platform to control their own message and put it out there. In essence, it's like a free advertisement. Ideas on why you'd spend your time crafting a wonderfully argued essay about a topic you care about and you're not going to get paid for it.
So if you have some interest in politics, let's say local politics, it's a good way for people to start like knowing you, knowing your ideas, the way you thought, the way you think.
Yeah. Any other ideas?
It's an important part of democracy as well in the country and the freedom of speech, so other
Yeah.
ideas are heard besides those in the spotlight.
For sure. This is a quote from a blog I was reading about op-eds. Look for an issue that straddles the line between public good and self-interest. This is a strategic way of approaching this free ad space you essentially want to claim. So now let's talk about intros. This is also from a blog, and I can get you the citation. It's in my notes if you're interested. I think it's Daniel Dresden. Let's go through the op-eds that you picked up on the way in and just read the first line of each one. We'll go around. And I want you all to listen as you hear these lines for the ones that jump out at you versus the ones that lose you.
Called Graveyard Myths. And as President Obama orders an additional 21,000 troops to Afghanistan, he faces growing skepticism over the United States prospects there.
Title is Yes, I Inhaled and I'm Not Sorry. Dear America, I take it back. I don't apologize. Because you know what? It's none of your goddamn business. I work my ass off 10 months a year. It's that hard work that gave me all those gooey feelings of patriotism last summer.
remembers the gist of any of those? Which ones remain in your minds? Okay, all right. Great. Young, will you read that line one more time?
Yes, I inhaled and I'm not sorry. Dear America, I take it back. I don't apologize. Because you know what? It's none of your goddamn business.
Okay, great. I think that's a perfect illustration. While all of these examples of op-eds give their opinions up front, they make their statement in the first sentence or two, there's the punch in the face, and we all remember it, and it probably is the most effective already. We all are most interested in hearing the rest of that one. So there's the punch in the face. Perfectly done on the Michael Phelps pot smoking scandal. Okay, writing an op-ed is really like being an attorney or a debater on a debate team. And it's that opening and closing argument that bookends your point and hooks the reader, hooks the audience, and in the end makes or breaks your case. Who remembers a line from a courtroom drama or a debate drama if you've seen one? Are there any lawyer fist-pounding moments that you guys remember?
You guys can handle the truth.
That is the classic. He pounded that line into America's brains, and in the same sense, you want to do that with your op-ed. We've talked about this. Argue reasonably and appeal to a broad audience. When I write my articles, I try to use the grandma test. Would my grandmother, who's 87 in Pennsylvania, be able to understand what I'm writing about? I think that's the grandma test or the neighbor test or the grocery store test here. If you turn to somebody behind you in line at the grocery store and state your point, they should be able to understand it no matter who it is. Leave your readers changed. Now this is about the conclusion. Once you have marinated your audience, you've prepped them with statistics, you've appealed to their emotions, they are at this point understanding what the problem is and ready to embrace your solution to do something about it. There's really not much of a point in writing an op-ed if all you're going to do is call out a problem and moan about it and then end the story. You need to offer a solution that people can latch onto and that ultimately reflects your interests as an activist or as a corporate CEO or as an international student who specializes in Afghanistan policy.